Sometimes we need to preload a bunch of objects together. For example, here we're loading all the products. Now, let's go to our template and render the collection of each product next to its title. So here we add a hyphen followed by two braces to render product.collection.title. Now save, back in the browser, refresh. Look, we have the same problem as before. Our application is hanging because Django is sending 1,000 extra queries to the database to read the collection of all these products. Because when we ask for products, Django is only going to query the product table. It's not going to query the related tables unless we specifically instruct it to do so. So here we want to preload the products with their collection. To do that, before we call the all method, we call select related. And here we specify the field we want to preload. So that field is collection. Then we call the all method. Now, back to the browser, refresh. Our products loaded instantly. Now, let's look at our SQL tab. So here's our query. See what's going on here? We're selecting all these fields from the product table, followed by these three fields from the collection table. And here we have a join between product and collection. So when we use the select related method, Django creates a join between our tables. Now, we can also span relationships. So let's say collection has another field that we want to preload as part of this query. So we add two underscores here and then type the name of that other field. Okay. So this is select related. Now we have another method called prefetch related. So we use select related when the other end of the relationship has one instance, like in this case, a product has one collection, right? But we use prefetch related when the other end of the relationship has many objects. What is an example of that? The promotions of a product. So let's go to the product class real quick. Look, each product has one collection, but it can have many promotions. So to preload the promotions, we use the prefetch method. So back to our playground, I'm going to replace this with prefetch related, and the field we want to preload is promotions. Now, before we go back to the browser, I'm going to go back to the template and remove the collection of these products. Otherwise, we're going to end up with all those extra queries. So save. Now refresh. All right, let's look at our SQL tab. So now we have two queries. Here's the first query to read all these columns from the product table. Now, after that, we have another query to read the promotions of these products. So we are reading three columns from the promotion table, and we have a join between promotion and product. So essentially, we have two result sets. The first set includes the products. The second set includes promotions. Django reads these sets and then populates our objects in memory. Now, we can also combine these two methods. So let's say we want to load all the products with their promotions and collection. So after the call to prefetch related, we can call select related to load the collection of each product. So both these methods return a query set, and that's why we can chain all these methods to build a complex query. Okay. Now the order of these methods doesn't really matter. So we can put select related first or last. It doesn't really make a difference. So now let's save the changes and add the collection back in our template. So product.collection.title. Now let's test the result. Great. So we see the collection of all these products. Now in our SQL tab, we have two queries. The first query is to read all the products and their collection. So here we have a join between product and collection. And the second query is to read the promotions of all these products. All right, here's your exercise. I want you to write a query to get the last 5 orders with their customer and items, including the product referenced in each order item. So pause the video, spend a couple minutes on this, then come back, see my solution. All right, here's the solution. We want to get a list of orders, so we should start with the order class. Then we go to objects, Now we want to preload these orders with their customer. So this is where we call select related to preload the customer field. Now we don't want to show all the orders, we want to show the last 5 orders. So first we need to sort them by placed at in descending order, so the latest orders come first. And then we use array slicing syntax to pick the top 5 orders, okay? Now let's test our implementation up to this point. So we store the result in query set, and then to keep our code clean, we should change the name of this key from products to orders. Next, we go to our template and rename products to orders and product to order. Now here we can render the ID of each product followed by, let's say, the first name of the customer. So 2 pairs of braces to render order.customer.firstName. Save. Now here we can see the last 5 orders and the customer. Beautiful. Let's look at our SQL tab to make sure we don't have any extra queries. So we have a single query to read the orders and their customer. So we're selecting all these columns from the order table, followed by all these columns from the customer table. And here we have a join between order and customer tables. Great. So let's move on to the next step. Now we should preload the items of these orders. So here we call prefetch related because each order can have many items. Now, what is the name of the field we're going to query? Well, let's have a quick look at our order class. So each order has 3 fields: placed at, payment status, and customer. We don't have a field called items. But look at the order item class. Here we have order, which is a foreign key to order. So Django is going to create the reverse relationship for us. Now, what is the name of that relationship? That is order item underline set. This is the convention that Django uses to create the reverse relationship. If you don't like this name, you can set it using the related name argument. So over here, we can set related name to items. So with this implementation, the order class is going to have a field called items. Now, I don't want to set this because we're going to end up with inconsistency in our code, and I don't want to change the name for every relationship. So for the purpose of this exercise, let's go with Django's convention. So back to our playground, we want to prefetch order item underline set. So the name of the target class in lowercase followed by an underscore and set. Okay. Let's see what we get up to this point. So refresh. Our page loaded instantly. Let's look at the SQL tab. We have one extra query to load these order items. So we're loading order items for orders in this list. So everything is fine so far. Now the last step is to load the product referenced in each order item. So over here, where we are prefetching the order item, we can span the relationship by adding 2 underscores, and then we type the name of the target field, which is product. Save. Now refresh. Let's look at our query one more time. Now we have one extra query to read the products referenced in these order items. So we are reading all the columns from the product table where the ID of the product is in this list. And this list is the list of order items we have queried so far. So this is how I want you to write code. Write a little bit of code, test your code, make sure everything works before doing a big step. With this technique, you can prevent a lot of crazy issues down the road.